Hello, my most awesome, amazing, wonderful kindred souls. Welcome to the next step along our spiritual journey. It is time to do the month ahead reading. And this reading is about the angel number 1. So this reading will apply at any time, any month you feel like you resonate with the angel number 1, or you feel like you're under the influence of the angel number 1. But right now, it is kind of extra special as of the time I'm recording this because it is actually January and it is the year 2026, which is also a universal one. So we are under a bunch of 1 energy. And the angel number 1 is the number of new beginnings and fresh starts. That's kind of its main and mostly well-known energy because it's the first number. In numerology, it's numbers 1 through 9. All the other numbers are a combination of numbers. Well, there's also 0, but it's kind of a special case. But it's 1 through 9 are the numbers, and then there's the master numbers 11, 22, and 33. So this is the very first of the numbers. So it is like a leader. It's really a very powerful, a very strong number. So it's really about the dream. It's about the dream. It is the energy of that number when you're dreaming up something. You're planning, you're setting goals. And it's that energy of when you realize that you are going to bring that dream into reality. So it's that kind of beginning, but it's a new beginning. It's a fresh start. It's a clean blank slate. So you don't have to worry about anything that's gone on in the past. You don't have to worry about repeating patterns or like history coming in to influence anything. It's a fresh start, brand new, blank, clean slate, so that you can dream up those dreams and bring them into reality. It is also the number of determination, of willpower. So anytime you're under the influence of the angel number 1, you can expect to have, well, feeling quite independent, feeling very kind of self-reliant, and that determination. Not just, determined to get it done, but kind of more of that excited fire beneath you. Like you're excited about the idea and you're determined no matter how impossible the dream may seem at first, right? You're determined to bring it forward, but it's also the willpower that it takes to follow through with that determination, even when things might get a little bit difficult. Now, the other major energy about the angel number 1 that is very important, it is the number about positive thinking. The thing that we get told all the time that we have to do that's so important for manifesting, for, being happy, for all of that stuff. And well, it is, because the angel number 1 means that your thoughts, or what you're thinking about, what you're focused on, is actually manifesting faster than usual. So anytime you see the number 1 or repeating once, that is one of the messages your angels are probably sending you, is beware of those thoughts because they're manifesting faster than usual. And then, of course, the more ones that occur together, the stronger that energy is. It intensifies itself when you see it together. So if you see, 11, which is a master number, but that's another story. But if you see 11, that makes it at least double. You see 3, you've got triple of the energy. So it's the same energy, it's just magnified when you see it repeated like that. So it is really important. Anytime you're under the angel number 1, it's especially important this month, and it's going to be important all year long this year to make sure that, you try to keep your thoughts positive. It doesn't mean you can't ever have a negative thought. Keep that in mind, because I think we get overwhelmed, especially those of us who are highly sensitive spiritual beings, or those of us who are, we've dealt with neurodiversity or, chronic PTSD from our past, the trauma, depression, anxiety, all of that stuff. We really have we have strong egos. So we tend to very easily get down on ourselves. And when you do have a negative thought and you're like, oh no, I'm under the influence of this angel number one, that means I'm manifesting the negative thoughts, but I can't stop thinking. You see how it spirals into that more and more negativity. So, or negative thoughts. And that is what manifests, because that's what you're focusing on. So it's just the best thing that you can do, especially under the influence of this energy and, this whole year going forward, is to really, when you have a thought, just recognize it as a thought. Just because you have a thought doesn't make it true, doesn't necessarily give it any power. So just recognize the thought. If you don't like it, if it's not what you want to be thinking, if it's clearly coming from your ego or your past, or it's coming from fear or thoughts of limitation, just be like, okay, I had that thought. I understand, that it affects me. And how can you replace it? That's just changing your focus. So I don't know, say you have the negative thought, like, I'm a failure, I can't do anything right, like it, and then you get that thought and then that feeling begins to overwhelm you. That would be the moment where you remember how important positive thinking is. And that's where you either go, down in that spiral, or you can take a deep breath, reframe. Okay, yeah, I had that thought. That's an old thought that comes from a lot of past, a lot of trauma. And right now, I know I'm not actually a failure. I am just going through a difficult situation, and I'm human, and that's going to happen. So perhaps I will call on my angels and ask them for help dealing with whatever I'm going through. Do you see what I mean? So instead of putting that blame on yourself for having a thought, which is just a thought, and you're a human being, you're going to have thoughts. What can you do? You're just going to have thoughts. So forgive yourself for them. And then if you don't know any other way, just ask your angels. Just simply say, thank you, angels, for helping me through this situation. Thank you for helping me see this from a different perspective. Thank you for helping me attract new and different things, especially as I'm under this angel number one energy. If the angels are sending it to you, thank you, angels, for showing me this number and for helping me understand clearly what it is I need to know to get through this. So that brings us to another really important energy of the angel number one, and that is, it means that, or resonates with, being surrounded by your angels. So asking your angels to help and to guide you, or trying to connect with them and feel their presence, is in fact a bit easier when this energy is in your life. So this entire month is a great month to call on the angels anytime you feel like it. Learn about the angels. Think about the angels. Anytime you think about the angels, you're bringing that energy into your life. Did you know that it's that easy? That just thinking about them, reading about them, learning about them actually brings that energy into your life. So a big message that you might get if you ever see the angel number one repeating and you're wondering what it might mean, can't quite figure it out, it may simply just be that your angels are telling you that they're there with you, and call on them or trust them. And then another major energy of this number is of interconnectedness. So I think of it as like the ultimate one energy, right? We're all connected by this interconnectedness, by this God force energy. We're all connected, the source. We're all from the same source. All of us, angels, the spirit guides, the divine beings, star seeds, earth angels, all of us are connected to human beings, of course, we're all connected to that same divine source. And that's our interconnectedness. So we can turn inward to that inner world and we can tap into that, what Carl Jung called the collective unconscious. And that is a long story that I won't get into right now, but very interesting, the collective unconscious. But that is where Carl Jung, from a psychological point of view, said that, we're still connected to our ancestors and everybody who came before us, and this just consciousness that we can tap into. So that's the angel number one, and that is the power of the angel number one. It is at the beginning, but it is a very powerful, very strong energy of beginning manifestation, of making your dreams come true, of the willpower, the determination, the guidance beyond the inner world, of just bringing all of your goals into reality. And a very powerful and important number for any light worker, any highly sensitive spiritual being, because it is likely huge energy along your path to help you bring your mission, or to help you accomplish your mission, and to help with the ascension and raising the vibrations of the earth. Because, that positive energy, that manifesting, that very beginning foundational energy of manifesting. And that is the energy that we are under. So now I am going to do the cards and see what the angels have to tell us. Before this, I already did the Be Love meditation. But if you'd like to take a deep breath and just thank you, angels, for being here with us today, for guiding us and helping us to understand these messages with clarity going forward into this month and serving our best and highest good. You probably know about these Tibetan singing bowls. I love this little guy. I thought it would be a good way to bring in some of that positive energy. It's also very relaxing and nice. So thank you, angels, for helping us bring in this month with positive energy, love, and guidance. All right, so let's see. Going into this month, what kind of guidance the angels have for us? And I am also using the Angel Wisdom Tarot this month. I do have, let's see, so you can see the Angel Wisdom Tarot. I think I have figured out that if I tilt it down slightly, you can see much better than when the light reflects on it. And then I was thinking that for the trio cards at the end, we can use this gratitude oracle. So I think that'll be quite beautiful and empowering for this angel number one energy. All right. Well, that's interesting. I am going to go ahead and keep going with each week to get these drawn, and either I can fast forward it or skip through some of it if need be. So there's definitely, it seems that many of us in this collective right now are definitely struggling with some negative thoughts. I hate to say negative thoughts because I really feel that once you label them like that, it just sets you up for feeling bad for having them. And the thing is that the thoughts themselves are not negative. The thought itself is not going to lower your vibration. In fact, I don't really think anything lowers your vibration. I think you vibrate at a certain frequency because you are who you are. You know, we do have free will and the option to maybe choose to be something different, and that could potentially change our frequency. But other than that, you know, we come in at a certain frequency, and what happens is not that our frequency goes up or down, but we have, you know, the energy that is around us, and those thoughts, every thought that you have, you're putting that energy out there. And it's not even so much that it's negative, it's just more low vibrational, you know, and we want more higher vibrational frequency in this collective. We prefer the higher resonating, the angels, you know, the accomplishing our mission, the attracting good positive things that make us feel happy, bring more light to our lives in the world. So I don't really like using the term negative thoughts, but it is a thought that's, you know, well known. We understand what that means. So understand what I'm saying. It's not inherently bad to have any thought. And that's really important this month, I think, just not having, you know, that thought. But with that said, yeah, with that said, this month definitely has good stuff. There's good stuff coming in. A lot of good stuff is coming in, but a lot of us are struggling with those lower vibrational thoughts and the feelings that come with lower vibrational thoughts. Yeah. Thoughts. I mean, we pretty much have almost all of the cards that would indicate that thoughts are at play, and not in so much, they're not so much making you feel good. You're struggling with negative thinking, you're struggling with lower vibrational thinking, and as we go into this month, even though it is a month that carries the energy of positive thinking and being aware of that, being aware of what you're thinking about, and trying to, you know, just choose the thoughts that are going to manifest a higher vibrational frequency into your energy field, what's more in alignment with who you are underneath all of that energy that's outside of, you know, your true authentic self. You feel those thoughts, I imagine, are, for so many of us, it's consuming. Those thoughts are consuming, and they're creating emotions that are making you feel like you don't have control. And this month is definitely, looks like it's going to challenge you to this month is going to challenge you to walk through those thoughts, walk through those feelings, and make a choice. So remember, the angel number 1 is new beginnings, fresh starts. It's like wiping the slate clean so that you can move forward, you know, with something new, with something different. So this month, if you feel tied down by old thoughts or old ways, and you have the thought come up and you feel trapped, or you feel like you can't get out of it, you know, maybe just imagine the slate being wiped clean. So yes, things have been difficult in your past, and the past has created a certain story for you, but it can all start new. We can wipe a lot of that clean, and your angels are doing that for you. And the work that you've done is doing that for you. Maybe not 100%, it takes work to get through all of that, but it is being done. It's being cleaned, but it's also up to you to choose to also let go of some of that. Sometimes we cling to it either subconsciously, we're not really aware of it, or there may be some sort of comfort in those thoughts because it's what we're used to having. Maybe it's a form of self-protection. If you think the worst, then you're prepared for it, all of that. So maybe even just try and do that right now. Right now, before we even start with this, is just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath that really fills your lungs. Expand your chest. Feel your chest expand and bring that air in. And when you breathe out, release that tension. Release some of that feeling in that chest area, like your upper abdomen area. Release some of that with the breath. Let it go. Imagine letting go the old thoughts, the old patterns, the current thoughts, whatever's coming up. Release, let it go, relax. Take another deep breath, and this time bring that breath all the way down as deep as you can into your abdomen. And imagine breathing in the divine light, divine positivity, love, the energy that your angels are sending you. Breathe out all the way in as deep as you can and hold on to it for a moment. And then release. And use that breath intentionally as acceptance to allow your angels' positive energy and love and guidance to come in, to allow positive energy to start coming into your life. Okay. And with that, just do that whenever you need to. Whenever you need to this month. Do that to release some of that lower vibrating energy, some of that limited thinking, fears, and thoughts, and bring in more of the positivity. So the first week, we have a very good card. It is the Ace of, I believe we call it probably Earth in this deck, or of Pentacles, coins, and other tarot. And so that is actually news of just really great things coming in. It's news of good things coming, good things that make you feel more safe, secure, grounded, comfortable, things in the physical world that create that strong foundation. And that is the first week. So as we head into January, or as we head into whatever month it is, where you're under this energy, is good things are coming. Good news, it's coming. It's not quite here yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if this month you hear about, something you've been working on pays off, or, you get good news about something in your job, or a new job, or, just really more opportunities for things like promotion and growth to be going on. Also, I kind of get that there's very possibly many of us are thinking about or going to change career from something that may be less fulfilling in a spiritual, emotional way into something that's more spiritual, more aligned with your mission. You're being called to do that. And a lot of us this month, are going into this year too, are just going to start answering that call. The thing is about this first week is your inner world. You're struggling with fear. You're struggling with limited thinking. There's anxiety. Doubts. It's like you get this news of good things, or you're making this decision of going into these good things, and you're feeling like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go into this new career, and you feel connected outwardly about it. But then these thoughts or this anxiety, these limitations just come up and make you feel this doubt, like, I can't do it. I specifically, if you can see at the bottom there, it says, if I can get it focused on there, it says refocus your thoughts, even on the card itself. So the thing is, these thoughts that you have going into the month, they are unfounded fear. They're based on fear that is probably just coming from your ego to protect you, but not coming from actual events or actual evidence, even if it feels like it in the moment. So that's a really a good time to check in. This card would be like, check in with other people, check in with your angels, check in with whoever it takes. When those thoughts, when that worry, when that anxiety comes in, try not to let the anxiety and the worry and the fear and the doubt grow. Try not to let it grow bigger. Kind of like what I said before about, when you have a negative thought, don't let it spiral. Don't feed on it. Just accept that you have those thoughts, and forgive yourself for the thoughts. It's just a thought. It's just worry. It's okay to do that. Try not to let it get out of hand and take over, because the angels, by sending this card, really are saying that it's unfounded. It's not based on, it is based on your truth, but it's not current. Like you've switched timelines from before, and you're on a different path, a different trajectory. So those old fears that keep coming up are not necessarily accurate. You're just carrying them with you, the residual. And it'll take some time to let those go. But I think that's a big part of what this month is about. That's what's with these ups and downs. Good is coming. And this month is really helping a lot of us in the collective just learn how to accept it. How do you accept the good when you're used to bad, or when you're used to having to protect yourself, So going into the second week, we're starting out with you're starting out with more negative thoughts. The trouble is, like, these negative thoughts, it's a lot of fears around money or security, or people not being willing to help. Maybe people don't care about you. If you want to see the card, but the thing is that these thoughts can become reality if we get stuck on them. So the second week, we started out the first week, a lot of good news. Good news coming. Good things are coming. The whole entire month is starting out with, a windfall of good news coming in. Okay, good things. Stability, the career, all of that stuff coming in. We've got the supportive community out there and available for you, but there's those doubts and fears that come in and make you hesitate. And it looks like there's a good chance that they're going to kind of take over, and you're going to feel like you're being like left out in the cold, and nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about the work you're doing. Nobody cares about the work that you've always done. Nobody is there to help you. It feels kind of hopeless. But it would also be encouraging you to reach out to others. Don't get stuck in those thoughts and those feelings, because it can, manifest. So the outer world is, I think, for some of us out there, some of you out there, this feeling this week of people not understanding you, of not getting you, of being or of not caring is possibly actually somebody doing that to you. There are actual people who don't care about you in the way that you deserve to be cared about. So it's kind of like one of those situations, like, yeah, you're having these thoughts, you're having these feelings, and you're not making it up. You're not crazy, it's actually happening. There actually are people out there that don't have your best interest in mind. There's some people out there that are, maybe don't care about you the way they should care or the way that you want them to. There are people out there who might hurt you. Be aware of it, especially the second week or around the middle of the month or any time, just really being aware of these people who might be trying to take something from you, who might be trying to bring you down, use you, any of that kind of stuff. And it might be time to just walk away from those people and those situations. Walk away. And your inner world, your strengths, what the angels are illuminating that week, is the seeds that you plant for this change. The seeds that you have been planting, right? They are going to pay off. They're gonna pay off. The work that you've been doing, yeah. So you feel like you've done a lot of work. That's the thing. Yeah. You feel like you've done a lot of work, and you have. You have done a lot of work. But you're not seeing the results. And it's one of those times where kind of your old energy keeps coming back, and you're like, I made these changes, I've changed my thoughts, I've changed all this. Why do these situations keep coming? Why do I keep attracting these same situations? And it's not so much that you're still attracting them, they're just kind of left over and they're still coming in, and you still gotta watch those thoughts, and you gotta watch them taking over, and you're still learning to make that switch of not letting the thoughts overcome you and instead making different choices. Those are the seeds that you planted, and they're working. You've done a good job. It's happening. Whatever you're walking away from, keep walking away from it. Keep going. Keep going. You're not making that easy decision. You're making a more difficult decision, but it's going to pay off. So a bit of patience. It's funny too, though, but at the bottom of this card, it also says unnecessary worry. So even this card, you've done the work. Keep doing it. Don't give up on yourself. Just have some patience. That is coming. It is. The worry that you feel, once again, this card is saying that it's unfounded. It's not true. It's residual. It's what you're used to falling back on as a form of self-protection. It's your ego talking to you, but the worries and the fear that you have are not quite accurate. They're not accurate. So it's safe to just let things unfold. And then going into the next week, we have the Magician, and then the outer world is balance. And then your inner world again. This is the Three of Air. So this is you're very powerful this week. You're really coming into your abilities. You're making good choices. You're really working hard. You're making good choices. Things are starting to manifest. It's going in the direction that you want. You're doing a good job with all of that. It still is going to take believing in yourself, believing you can do it. So this week is very much about believing you can do it. And some of that energy is going to come in of feeling that power. And, actually, you're going to see something. And I think it's something good. You're going to see something you've been working on, or even literally it might be a thought. You're going to have like a thought or think a certain way, and it's going to manifest, and you're going to be like, whoa, okay, it really is happening. Maybe here, this is where you might see like more angel numbers and more synchronicities, and you're going to start noticing that energy in your life, like magic. It's like magic, and like you're a magician. You can make this stuff happen. And also, like, the ideas coming in is showing you that balance between the good, that balance between the negative. Your beliefs are more powerful. And you know what? Positive thoughts, high vibrational thoughts are more powerful than the lower ones too. So if you have a negative thought and you replace it with a more positive one, you don't get down on yourself and do all that blaming, and you replace it with a more positive focus. That positive focus is more powerful than the negative one. So once you change those beliefs, some of those beliefs, even if you don't fully change them, but just starting to question them, just starting to be like, maybe I do have more power. Maybe some stuff is paying off. You're gonna start thinking about and noticing just how everything is played out, how you've come to this point, a lot of the struggles that you've had, a lot of the pain that you've been through. It's starting to come into focus, like why you've gone through what you've gone through, and it's starting to balance. You're starting to feel a little more control over your life. You're starting to feel a little more hopeful. You're seeing the world outside of you reflecting some of that balance and that hope and things coming together. However, even with all of that, this is the ups and downs. You're once again, like I said, you're dealing with sadness. You're dealing with feelings of betrayal, even like a broken heart. And this month, yeah, it's very strong, these thoughts, this anxiety, and it's coming from sadness, people not understanding you, people not getting you. You feel alone. You're feeling alone in it. And especially with this angel number 1, this kind of energy about those new beginnings. And if you have been doing a lot of work, healing, self-love, working on that, working on letting go, shadow work, inner child work, any of that kind of stuff, you are making so much progress. And the thing is, like, the old falls away. Anything that doesn't resonate with the new energy that is around you, that you're putting out, if it does, it's like a magnet that gets turned around, and instead of being attracted, it repels, right? So all that stuff starts to fall away, and sometimes stuff that we thought was what we wanted, or stuff that we thought was good, it turns out energetically it's not in alignment with us anymore, and so that stuff falls away, and that can be difficult. And then, even as we head into new beginnings and new starts, sometimes those new beginnings remind us of all the pain that we've been through in the past. It reminds us of the hurt, of the trauma, and we kind of start to relive it. And that's part of shadow work, that stuff coming up. But all this stuff that you've been through, all of this hurt, the betrayal, whatever is even still going on, that the angels are encouraging you to walk away from this month and to just leave behind and come into your power, come into yourself. All of this, all of it is making this possible. These betrayals and these hurts, it's made you really who you are. It's giving you the mindset that you have so that you can be as powerful as you're becoming. You're starting to realize it, and that's what is like the crazy thing about this month. It seems like you're getting hints of it. You're getting hits of the positivity of it all paying off, of this work that you're doing, right? But then these thoughts come in, then these emotions, these feelings, and they just kind of take over and make you feel kind of hopeless or uncertain, or fall back into that old way of thinking as if you're not making the progress. It's an intense month. That old stuff is falling away, but it's still coming back. And it's falling away, but it's coming back. And you're just learning how to manage and cope and not attract more of it and make those kinds of shifts. So going into the last week, the end of the month, the end of the month, well, we've got the 9 of Earth, then we have transformation, and then we have the 4 of Earth. So the end of the month, spend some time just on your own. It's going to be really helpful just to spend some time on your own. That's kind of the energy of the angel number 1 too, is a lot of that independent energy. But this last week, like, you're going to be able to tap into that strength and that power and the work that you've done by just taking a step back from everything and spending some time alone. And it's not so much, spend that time alone and just, meditate or be by yourself or anything like that. You're probably going to feel the urge to just step away from a lot of this stuff. You just keep going on these ups and downs this month. And then that last week, more of that urge to be like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with it. I feel good about the work I've done. I feel myself coming into my power. And I just want to be on my own and enjoy what I have without all of this other stuff that's always feeling like it's taking it away from me. So you want to feel more grounded and rooted and powerful in the work that you've been doing. But the outside world, which is interesting, is this is the Tower card, which is something unexpected, some huge unexpected change is coming. The kind of change that just like changes everything, disrupts your entire world. It changes the way that you're thinking. And honestly, with the other cards this week, that could be probably the best news that you could get. So something's just gonna come and it's just gonna like destroy it all. But in that kind of destruction and that sudden falling of everything, you are gonna be set free. Finally, it's going to free you. So it's intense, it's big, but finally, this card even specifically says right there at the bottom, releasing old belief systems. So yeah. I can't help it, just kind of laugh. I just feel really excited about it. Like your angels are saying, like, oh, it's a tough month, but I can't wait till you get there. Can't wait till you get to this end of the month and you go through this transformation, and it really shakes things up, and it starts breaking you free of these old patterns and thoughts and beliefs that you've been going through. It's like these seeds over here in the second week where they're saying you've planted the seeds, you're doing good, they're coming, you just don't quite see them yet. Just a little bit of patience before you can pick those flowers and bring them into your life. But towards the end of the month, that transformation comes, and really those flowers start to bloom. They start to bloom because, you know, the boundaries and the borders of what's been restricting them, like lightning comes in and just strikes it and tears it all down. So freedom, that freedom to be, to grow, to expand, to get away from the past happens. And your inner world, you're having a tendency to see things in black and white, which is what you've been doing all month. So at the end of the month, you feel strong in yourself and what you've done, and you feel like, I am just ready to separate from all of that and just come into myself, my authentic self, and just be with myself. I just don't need all of this. And then a lot of these decisions come, and it just feels like your world is falling apart. And it may be intense, it may be difficult, especially on top of all these other emotions you've had. So you're going to want to watch thinking too much one way or the other. It can be intense either way. So balance those thoughts. Don't get too caught up in, I need to be alone, I need to be grounded. You have a lot of cards also this month that are about reaching out and networking and community being there to support you and being important and helping you pull you away from this old past of the negative people that have been in your life. All three of these cards are the negative people and experiences, feelings of like betrayal and loss and hurt, But there's a community out there. There's people out there. And there's your angels too. Your angels and your spiritual team out there to help you with all of it. So don't, in this last week when you're feeling a bit more empowered, try not to get too caught up in that I just want to be alone and I don't want to have anything to do with anybody else. Don't do that either. Enjoy your time alone. Enjoy your personal power and everything that you've accomplished. Celebrate it. But don't get too caught up in it and go the other way, because community and networking is kind of important for you. And at the very least, if it's not actual people out there, like going to the bookstore or a community or new friends or new companionship in some way, new connections, if it's not actual physical people, it's your angels, your spiritual team, maybe your spirit animal, anything like that. But it's definitely that connecting, not just in your own head with your own expectations and patterns influencing you. So don't go the other way or the other extreme where you just start people pleasing or giving in to other people or falling back into some of those old patterns as a way to just start to feel better. Because these feelings, these worries, these doubts, they may be unfounded. They may not be necessarily true. They're just like residual patterns, but that doesn't make them any easier to have, any easier to experience. It's still intense for you. So, be careful once your tower comes down don't go to the extreme in either direction. Just balance between good, being discerning of who you're letting into your life, but don't block everyone out either. And then let's see. Oh man, it's an intense month. I mean, I really honestly thought we were gonna go into this month with a lot more a lot more like, I don't know, grounded or solid or exciting energy, but this month is definitely showing us a lot of that challenging those beliefs and those thoughts. So I am actually glad that I chose to do the gratitude oracle because, well, gratitude is the best way to focus on those high vibrational things that we want, right? So very angel number 1 energy with this. And I have to say, the kind of energy that we need to help with that black and white thinking too. So, message from your angels, message from your heart, message from your soul, our higher self. What do advice, suggestions, what do they want you to know heading into this month? It's definitely going to be more intense for some of us in the collective than it is others, but there are quite a few of us that are just, quite a few of you out there that are, this month's going to challenge you with those thoughts. Really challenge you. But, please, the black and white thinking, try not to get too caught up in it. Don't overprotect yourself. Protect yourself, but don't overprotect yourself. Watch out for deceptive people, but don't assume that they're all deceptive. Don't be so afraid of people betraying you or deceiving you or hurting you or not understanding you or not caring about you that you don't give anybody a chance in your life. You know what I mean? Watch that. Focus on what you do want. Use that angel number 1 energy to really just focus on what you do want, not what you don't. I know it can be hard and it can be disheartening. And you have to keep doing it, and then old things keep coming up as if you're still attracting them, as if things can't change. But patience. Just give it some time and some patience. You've done the work. It is happening. You just may not quite see it yet. Okay. Those interestingly, all 3 of them came out at one time. Okay, these cards are very full of imagery, so I'm definitely going to show them to you first so that you can take a look at them and see if your intuition says anything to you about them. So just take a look at that. What do you see? What's in there? Does anything stand out to you? The word on the card is prayer. The message from your heart. And from your higher self. Your soul or your higher self wants you to know about this month and getting through all of this. And the work that you're doing, so much brave work you're doing. So that is simplify. Simplify, and it's got butterflies, it's got fairies, rabbits, flowers, lots of things that resemble transformation, positive energy. So, yeah. I think the first one, this message from your angels, is pretty clear with prayer. You're not alone. You feel alone. Feel left out. Maybe feel like people don't care, but you've got your angels. There is good things out there for you, and you are doing the work. You're doing a good job, and good things are coming, but you don't have to do it all alone. So prayer, meditation, like I said, talking to your angels, asking for help, falling back on them, relying on them when things feel too much. When those old thoughts and those old worries and those fears come up, you don't have to do it by yourself. Think about your angels, call on your angels, fall back on your angels. Pray, meditate, intentions, ask, whatever feels the best for you, to ask for that assistance. That's what prayer is. It's a sacred, divine act of talking to your higher power or another source, a spiritual source. Message from your heart. Presence. Be in the moment. Your heart, like we said through much of the reading, was you feel it coming, you feel yourself coming into your power. You're getting glimpses of the work that you've done and what's coming. You're getting glimpses of it. Sometimes you feel it. You're like, yeah, this is good. This year's going to be better, or this month is going to be better. These fresh starts, this beginning, these new changes. I'm feeling that. And I feel it coming. And then these thoughts, they come in. So your heart is really saying just don't be in the past. Don't be in the future. Just bring it into the moment. Practice mindfulness. The past is an illusion. The future is illusion. The only thing that's real is right now. So use a lot of this earth energy that also has come up this month to just be grounded, being in the moment, creating those new beliefs and that new system by, just being in the here and now. Ground yourself in the newness and instead of getting lost in the old. And then your higher self, really giving that a suggestion to just don't make it too hard. Things aren't quite as difficult as it seems. Not quite as difficult as the ego tries to make it, or those worries, or, looking back on the past tries to make it. So it could be helpful to even clear out your physical space around you. Maybe if you feel like it's difficult to let go of some of those old thoughts or those old beliefs, those old patterns that keep coming up and creating the worry and the fear, or that is attracting the deceptive people that make you feel like nobody really cares about you. If you're having trouble letting go of all of that, your outer world as a reflection of your inner world. So if you have trouble letting go of all of that, it could actually be very helpful to let go of stuff in your physical environment. So if there's clutter, there's just stuff that you don't need, there's reminders. And for some of you, that I definitely just got that. You have some stuff that reminds you of what you're trying to let go. It might be a person, it might be family from the past, whatever you're trying to walk away from to come into this new you. There may be some physical reminders hanging around that's energetically holding you back or bringing those thoughts back. So simplify your life. You don't need to have that stuff in your life, especially when it's affecting you like that. So simplify, let things go. don't complicate things in your mind, but also, use your physical environment too to help change your internal environment, to help integrate and bring in those changes and that kind of new way of being and feeling more grounded and present. And when all else fails, or anytime you need to, just ask your angels or any kind of like prayer. You're not alone. You're not alone at all. You're doing a good job. And with that, I am sending a ton of love and blessings to you all. Thank you so much for being here. I wish you all of the best getting through this month. You're doing a wonderful job. And just remember, you are not alone. Call on your angels anytime. This angel number 1 energy is a powerful, strong energy to help you think more positive, to help solidify those changes, those beliefs, integrate new beliefs into your life. It's not always easy, but you can do it, and you're a very powerful person who can do it. So just ask for that help if you need it. The energy is surrounding to totally support you and help you step into these new beginnings. I look forward to seeing you next time.